Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today the big brown truck dropped off another new bow. This time it is from Prime. It is the brand new Nexus 2. It's new for 2021. Let's crack it open. I figured I'd share my first look at this bow with you, and we're going to get that done right now. So, break out the knife. Put that back. And let's have a look. What's inside the package? All right, put the box down over there. And let's have a look. Prime is very good about protecting their stuff when they ship it out. Really good about kind of wrapping up the cams and specifically in the limb pockets. So here we go. This is the brand new army green color on this. As if you've been watching these videos for long on ArcheryTalk's channel, you know I'm a big fan of the look of the Prime bows. I think their fit and finish is as good as anybody in the industry, and I think they just make great looking bows. Last year with the Prime Black 3, they sent it to me in a grizzly brown color, which is probably my favorite color of any bow I've ever had. This army green is really nice looking too. They sent it with black limbs. I'm a solid color bow preference guy, generally speaking. But you know, this looks very much like a Prime bow, just in some new colors. The biggest difference I think you're going to notice visually is the grip. Prime bows have historically had you kind of shooting directly off the riser, so you're holding onto the metal. I like that bow grip. I like how it feels in my hand. I think it's very repeatable. And again, I've been a big fan of that style for a while. The issue, of course, is if you live in a climate like I do. As you can see, there's snow here. It's still hunting season. It's cold, and having the shooting just off that aluminum riser is you can feel that in your hand, obviously, when you're out in the woods. And so Prime has thrown up a new grip. They're calling this the Nano Grip, and it's kind of looks like a hard kind of plastic exterior, but underneath that is some kind of NASA engineered aerogel, and that all helps to keep your hand a little bit warmer when you're holding onto the bow, which is, for hunters, that's going to be a big help. And it might also end up helping out in the summer if you're kind of shooting out in the hot woods, or if you're doing like 3D shoots or anything else with this bow, where your hand might start to sweat a little bit. This might hopefully help with that. Maybe give you a little bit more traction. It still feels pretty smooth. I'll be curious how that feels when the weather gets real warm, but we'll look into that. And that's really the biggest visual change on this bow compared to the older Prime bows, is that new grip. And that hopefully that'll be fun to play with. And it's supposed to be pretty much the same feel in your hand as the one as far as like the grip angle and the proportions are all supposed to be very much the same as they were on the Black Series and older Prime bows, just with this new overlay grip on top. It's still flat. It's got a little bit of texture, some kind of like ribs running down the front of it. So we'll see how that feels. Again, I'm a big fan of the old one. I'll have to see if I like the new one, just the same. There are some other significant changes to the bow this year. Again, you look at it, you don't really see them, but Prime's big claim this year was they're going to be about 50% less vibration, and thus less noise as well, coming out of the new new bows. The Black Series was a bow I very much like shooting. Is super accurate. The Black 3 I shot last year, but it was a little bit vibey and a little noisy. I didn't find it offensive. I've shot much louder and much more vibration inducing bows, but Prime had the thought that they wanted to try to quiet things down and take out some of that vibration a little bit, and they did that in a couple of different ways. Number one was the yoke rings. They are lighter weight this year, and the theory being the lighter weight is going to just be less. It's going to help quiet things down a little bit on the draw, after the shot rather, because just less heavy stuff on those cables as the string is connecting back with the string stop here. And another way they did that was with the cams. Again, these cams look fairly similar from the other cams, the roto cams from last year. These new ones are called the R2. I'm going to guess that means Roto 2. But Prime has moved to a different material. They were using 6000 series aluminum, and now they've jumped up to 7000 series. The benefit of that is 7000 series is a stronger material, so they're able to use less of it. So now you've got, again, less weight here, just like you had less weight on the yoke rings. You got less weight on the cams, top and bottom. And those two combined is what Prime kind of attributes to most of the vibration and noise reduction this year. So that'll be interesting to play with. The cams are also different this year in that they have more draw length adjustable ranges. So on the Nexus 2 that I've got here, the draw lengths go from 23 up to 30 inches. So that's really about 2 more inches of draw length on the bottom end. So those shorter draw shooters are now able to fit more of the Prime bows. And the same is going to be true for the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 6. They're each going to be able to achieve slightly shorter, like about 2 inches shorter draw lengths than they were in prior years. It basically just opens up the primes to more shooters, which is always a good thing for this industry, to have more options for shooters looking to get into the sport. What else is different this year is the Flexus cable guard has been beefed up a little bit. It looks very much the same. It operates the same. You know, you can add pressure or take pressure off the cables by tightening or loosening the screw here that holds the Flexus in place. But Prime says they kind of beefed up the whole system a little bit, just so it's a little more sturdier. But it should perform very much the same. We should go over specs of this bow, which I haven't done. As the name implies, this Nexus 2 is going to be 32 inches axle to axle, and the brace height is 6 inches. And it's got an IBR rated speed of 341 feet per second. Now that speed is going to sound a little bit faster than some of the others Prime has come out with in previous years. And I actually think the Nexus 4 is going to be the fastest of the bunch, if memory serves. But Prime was also attributing some of that to the cam changes. So again, the lighter weight cams are going to help produce a little bit more speed. In automotive terms, I run some ATV.com and some other sites like that. Rotating mass is a big concern if you got like heavy tires on there. Well, now there's less rotating mass on this bow because the cams are really the only things that are rotating, and so if they're lighter weight, it's going to lead to a little bit more freer flowing movement and a little bit faster speed, and that's what Prime has achieved this year. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how it works out. The riser itself is largely unchanged. Cutouts are a little bit different, but as far as like the mechanics of these things are still identical. You're still got that kind of synergy swoop in the bottom here to help kind of a little more stability when you're holding it full draw. And I think the stabilizer mount in the front has also been beefed up a little bit, so it's a little bit more solid feeling. And I didn't have any problems with it on the other bows that I've shot from Prime, but who knows? I don't shoot a ton of weight on my stabilizer, so maybe those guys that are shooting 20 ounces out front of a 30-inch stabilizer might have a little more issue than I do. But Prime has addressed that as well. And MSRP on this bow, I believe, is $1,100. I think all the new Nexus bows, save for the 6, are going to be $1,100. I think the 6 is going to be $1,200. And Prime has obviously got a lot of different colors to choose from. You could probably hopefully you can still get that grizzly brown that I shot last year, which was gorgeous. But I think that's about it for now, Archery Talk. I'm going to be setting this bow up shortly, and I'll do a speed test and a first impressions kind of overview for you guys, hopefully in the next coming weeks. That shouldn't be too long for that. I want to get those out of the way as early as I can this year. And so you can stay tuned for that. And if you got any thoughts on bows you'd like me to shoot, bows you'd like me to compare this to, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to get to them. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel an awful lot. And we'll see you again soon.